Yeah, that's right. That's a cool background, Andrew. It's like you got headphones for a background. Wow. My sister liked Minecraft a lot.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Nice job too, Jeremy, on the victory. 47 points. Very nice. Hey there, Uni. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Here's the Puzzle Racer link. Let's keep it going. And let me know if anyone gets a high score in Puzzle Racer. That's the way to win the point for your team. If no one gets a high score, then the person who wins the most races will win. The fourth person to get a high score earns a point for their team. Good race, everybody. Nice job to Jeremy on the win with 50 points. So we have a great question in the chat here from Joseph. He's asking me what's my chess story, like how I got into chess, how I got my job. Thanks so much for the kind words. My chess story, the way I got into chess, I I was a big tennis player actually, and that doesn't have that much to do with chess, but I'll get to it. So I really loved playing tennis, but I hurt my back playing tennis, and so I couldn't play tennis, and I needed something else to do. So I learned chess. Like my friend at one point, like he wanted me to learn how to play chess, and he offered me some cookies if I would learn how to play chess. And I was like, no. I said no, I didn't want to learn it. This was a while back. And then when I hurt my back and I couldn't play tennis, I learned how to play chess. And I played with a few family members. I don't have too many people in my family who play chess, but I played with a few family members and had a good time playing chess online. I used chesskid.com and chess.com back in those days. So that's kind of how I started getting into chess. And after the pandemic, I got into online chess with Coach Santos around, I think, summer of 2021 was when I started, and I was a student in his chess club. This was back in the days when we were with Excelsior Online. I think some of you may remember that. Jeremy, Andrew, I think maybe you and a few others may remember those days. Good times they are. But I had so much fun as a student. I loved the chess club, and so um, I told Coach that I'd be happy to help, and I would enjoy helping out any way he needed me to, essentially. And so, yeah, he allowed me to be a coach, and it's been a great time. So here's the next puzzle racer link. I think what I like the most about chess is like the sports and like the team play aspect of it. So like the team battles, I love it when it's like close and exciting, and I love the idea of playing on a team. I've always been such a big sports fan. So like being on a team, trying to outperform the other team is a really great thing. And to answer the second question, the answer is definitely no. But that's a very crazy thing to have happen to you. Very specific and very that'd be an awkward situation. Oh, Jeremy, he's already going there. No, green is better. Green is better. I was the green team captain, in case you couldn't tell from my bias there. I love the green team. Of course, I'm wearing red, so maybe tonight's not the night for me to be saying this. Yeah, I will set up the tournament. Thanks, William, for reminding me. Yep, we will have a tournament, definitely. All right, let's start the race. Wow, what a race. It's a good race when you have two people make it to 60. That's incredible. Jeremy takes the win with 65, but Joseph makes it to 60, which I think ties his personal best, if I'm recalling correctly. 60 points. That is amazing. And if nobody else got a high score, tell me, I mean, a lot of high scores in this. Everyone made it to 17 or better. So tell me if anyone else did, but I think Joseph just won Puzzle Racer for the team, tied his best. Yep. Very well done to Joseph. Congratulations. Amazing. Ishan made it above 40. Uni makes it above 35. Fantastic. Yeah, always feels great when you can do that. And sometimes if you get a high score up there really high, it'll be a while between the times when you manage to get to it, to tie it or beat it. I know Jeremy, he would know. He's got one in the 70s, I think. So it can be a while that you have to wait before you get to it. So it's always special. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy knows. Yeah, congratulations to Joseph. I believe that will that will do it. I think nobody else has said anything. So Joseph, the first one to get a high score tonight. Here we go. Great job to Jeremy on another victory. 62 points. Very well done. I think we'll do one more race and then we'll get into the lesson tonight. So here we go. Wow, how about that? What a race. It's a tie on top between Jeremy and I with 48 points. Joseph not far behind with 45. Well done. Nice racing, everyone. And let's move into announcements and then we'll move into the lesson. So here we go. Yeah, triple tie would have been cool. We've had that in the past. So as a reminder to anyone who wants to know, week 7, blue team added 62 points during chess camp. Our red team added 40 points. So week 7 was an excellent week for the blue team. Outside of camp, it was incredibly close. Blue team scored 20.6 points and red team had 20 points. As for the individual leaders, the red team was led by Ishan, then Jeremy and Ellie, and blue team was led by Yunyi, William, and David. So nicely done to all of you. As for this Tuesday, this week, red team put a dent in the blue team's lead. They won on Tuesday 26-14. Blue team won both points for Puzzle Racer and Kahoot, which made the final score for the night 26-16. So all that means the blue team is still in the lead for the month of July with 173.5 points, while red team has 160.7 points. So it's about a 13-point difference. Red team has started to cut into the lead. And I'll remind you that our meetings that take place in the month of August, the last meeting is Thursday, August the 8th, will also count for the month of July. So when you add in our makeup meetings, that means that we have 7 meetings still to go for July, which is lots of time for a comeback. If you're wondering what those makeup meetings are, we will be meeting on Monday, July 29th. That's this coming Monday, and Monday, August the 5th. So the next 2 Mondays, we will be meeting with Chess Camp at our usual time to make up for the 2 meetings that one week that many people missed because of the hurricane. Now, tonight is prize night, and the prize tonight is a choice between the excellent chess book, the Weapons of Chess, and a $20 Amazon gift card. I believe this is one of the best chess books out there, and I definitely recommend it. And if you choose the book, it's a little bit, I think, on sale right now. So I'm going to add in a $7 Amazon gift card so that you will actually be getting a prize value of about $20. Now, how do you win tonight's prize? The player with the biggest upset win in tonight's tournament wins tonight's prize. So this means that the player who beats an opponent the most higher rated compared to them wins the prize. For example, if a 900 rated player beats a 1600 rated player, that's a 700-point upset, and the largest upset wins. I want to apologize to the higher rated players who, of course, are not, this is not necessarily going to be their night in terms of winning the prize, but they have a huge advantage every single night, being higher rated. They've got great opportunities to win prizes most of the time. So tonight we're giving an opportunity to everyone else. So even if you're not one of the highest rated players in the group, tonight is a great opportunity for you to win a prize. I also want to tell everyone we've still got about a week left of this. There's an amazing opportunity out there. You can get free access to Chessmood until July 31st. It's an incredible chess learning platform. It has many hours of courses taught by grandmasters, which is a very valuable instruction. I tried it myself and I really liked it, and it helped me to be much more confident and excited about my chess game. It's usually very expensive, like $80 to $100 per month, but they're offering free access to all of their courses until July 31st. That's an incredible opportunity. If you do have some extra time in the coming week, I'd encourage you to go to Chessmood and start learning. You can take your chess game to the next level. They've got courses about attacking, defending, tactics, checkmating, winning one positions, saving lost positions, end games, openings. They've got like entire opening repertoires that they can teach you. It's up to you. You can follow their study plans and do what they recommend for your rating level, or you can just look at the courses that interest you. You can study and strengthen your chess weaknesses. If you're not as good in the endgame, you can study their endgame course, stuff like that. So if you may not remember, I'd encourage you to just write down a note quickly to yourself somewhere you won't forget, so that after this camp meeting is over, you'll remember to check out Chessmood, ask your parents about signing up. You only have to provide an email address, and once you do that, they will let you know if they ever make it free again in the future. And then you can start learning. It's a wonderful opportunity to have free instruction from grandmasters, and this can help take your chess to the next level. All right, now let's take a look at the lesson. I'm going to put the link in the chat here for the study. Joseph says blue team's new motto is if it looks like a checkmate, if it walks like a checkmate, if it talks like a checkmate, it's a checkmate. Yep, that's right. Hopefully that'll help you to spot the mates. If it tastes like a checkmate. So there's the link in the chat to the lesson, and we'll get started soon. Yeah, it is tough for the highest rated players tonight with the prize. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a look at chapter 24 in the study here, Avoiding Dead Draws, game number 4. I believe this will be the last game that we look at under this theme of how to get wins instead of draws, even from positions that seem to be pretty even. That we'll go through the opening quickly here. White's playing with a Queen's Gambit type of style, gaining the space in the center. And now Bonin says that with this move here, bishop to f4, he's provoking an aggressive response from black with this move. Notice how the bishop on f4, doesn't it kind of just make you want to play e5 as black? E5 looks like a really nice move. So black sets an aggressive plan in motion now. He plays knight to h5 to kick the bishop, and now e5. Black feels very intelligent. He feels like he's got what he wanted, but white has successfully provoked this move from black. And this is a very good thing. A very smart advanced chess strategy is to provoke unsound, aggressive moves from your opponent. You can make certain moves look good to your opponent with what you play. In particular, you can provoke pawn pushes, which can prove to be rash because, as I discussed in the last lesson, they create weaknesses. So white plays c5 here. And Bonin says he knows that King's Indian defense players like closed positions, so he ruins their day with this move. And this is another advanced chess strategy to know. When you know someone's preferences and what their favorite types of positions are, and you can get a good sense of this by what openings they choose to play, you can play the opposite way and give them the type of game they didn't want. Just make sure that you're comfortable enough with that style yourself, because you wouldn't want to go into something that you know nothing about just because your opponent hopefully also knows nothing about it. That negates the whole advantage. Not the best strategy there. But this is especially relevant for y'all because you play each other every week again and again. So you've probably noticed a thing or two about your opponent's tendencies, especially the ones at your rating level that you play over and over. You know, maybe you even get into the same position over and over against a certain opponent. I've experienced that myself. You know, you just tend to get the same position out of the opening because you play the same moves. And if that's the case, if you study that position, you can find an improvement, a different move that you can play, and then surprise them by playing that position better than they can. So it's a good opportunity to put in some studying and beat your opponent by studying harder than they're doing. So we see black with rook to d8, developing with tempo. Knight d2 gets out of the pin. Self-pinning is usually bad, but this time there's no way for black to pile up on this knight with a bunch of pieces. White has 2 defenders on it, and only black's queen can immediately attack the d2 knight. Now, speaking of things that are usually bad, black's knight is on the side of the board and is trapped, and black will end up with doubled isolated rook pawns if he does nothing about this. That is definitely not good. So we see black smartly taking the pawn with this move, and he brings the queen in. When you don't want to have to recapture with a pawn and double your pawns, bringing a piece in to defend can be smart. Of course, white can still take and then trade queens and then double black's pawns in the end, like this. And then the pawns end up getting doubled anyway. But he has a better move because there is precisely one great move that keeps the advantage for white. So can you find it? What is the move? Put it in the Zoom chat if you know it. One great move for white. Nice job too, Jeremy and Joseph. That's right. This is the move, f4. It's taking the queen away, grabbing the center, grabbing the space here for white. The queen has nowhere to go that still defends the knight. And notice what it gives you when you grab the center. White commands the game because he controls the key squares. And by controlling the key squares in the center, he indirectly controls the rest of the board. You know, he's kind of controlling the knight on h5 by controlling the center, because, you know, he's not letting black have any grip on the squares that he needs to use to defend that knight. The central squares are the best place to be to accomplish things in all different areas of the board, and it's no wonder that people always tell you to control the center in the opening. Black pieces, you know, with these white pawns in the center, they can't occupy the center, and therefore they can't use those central squares to defend or attack anything anywhere else on the board. So queen to d6 here, and now I want to ask you, does white have a tactic starting with g4? Should he play that move? I'll give you a bit of time and tell me, does g4 look good to you? It does look good. However, Jeremy has found the solution. It's a brilliant job by Jeremy. This is very impressive. This is maybe the toughest puzzle that I've given everyone here. This is a very, not the most obvious thing. It looks like a good move. Yes, knight f6 has to happen. Yes, you can play e5. It looks good. Or actually, no, my bad. I was wrong. Knight move doesn't have to happen. Bishop to d4 comes right away, and now black is better. This is the solution. Again, very well done to Jeremy finding this. It's an excellent move. Now black is better. If bishop takes, queen takes, king h1, queen takes, and if the queens trade, black is doing better here. Black's up a pawn. So that's the idea. It looked good. Again, tough puzzle here. This looks like an appealing idea, but you've got to look at the opponent's forcing move, this strong move, pinning the bishop, attacking the bishop, which is undefended at the moment. It's a really great find here. So awesome job to Jeremy. So now we see e5, which denies black the idea of bishop to d4. So maybe now he is threatening to play the move pawn to g4, threatening to trap the knight in one move, in fact. And so black plays bishop takes e5. And Bonin describes this move as sheer panic from black. People don't like being in a bad position. Black has no queenside development. All these pieces stuck back at home. And so they might make funny decisions when they get sick and tired of their passive position. Yeah, very impressive. You can tell that Jeremy is very sharp to notice that. F takes e5. We see white simply taking the bishop. He's happy to do that. And now notice this move, knight to c4. Pin pieces can sometimes still move. The knight was pinning the queen, but he's attacking the black queen. And the reason this move is safe is because the black queen cannot move somewhere with a check to the white king, and then because you want to make sure that the opponent cannot move their attacked piece away with check whenever you move a pin piece away like this. For example, it's very important here that white's knight defends the c3 bishop, because if it didn't, black could save his queen with check and then take white's queen on the next move. And so that's what you have to watch out for when you break up a pin like this. So in this case, white smartly realizes that there are no good checks for black, and it's okay to play this way. So the rook takes the queen, the knight takes the queen. And now notice the smart strategic decision by black. If you're wondering why he took the rook that was in the corner instead of the more active rook, when deciding which rook to take, he takes the one that will put white's rook farthest out of the game when recapturing. It's kind of like you have to do the opposite of what your instinct wants to do. You take the less active rook so that when the other rook recaptures, it will then become the less active rook. In such cases, it's often best to take a rook that's actually out of the game so that the enemy rook will also be out of the game when it recaptures. So now we see knight to g7, and white is happy to activate and get the rook on the open file. Bonin says black has 3 pawns for a piece, but that doesn't save him because he's behind in development. I think that's putting it gently. White has a colossal lead in development. He's got 5 pieces out there. Black only has 1. That's just a crushing lead in development. We see knight to e6, controlling d8. knight to e4. The knights are a nightmare. Knight to a6, and here's the problem with being so far behind in development. Even when you do start to catch up, it might be too late because the opponent has excellent pieces. This is mate in 3 for white, thanks to his great pieces. Who can find it? Again, it's a bit of a more challenging puzzle. Who can find checkmate in 3 for white? Williams got the idea, but which move comes first? Move order, I believe, is important in this puzzle. Got good ideas in the chat. Nice job, Jeremy. Well done. Well done to Ishan as well. He was the first one to put this in, I believe. Putting it in first. Bishop to h6. The reason this move has to come first, you've got to take away the king's running space first. If you led with the check, then the king runs away. Maybe the king goes here next. So there is a little bit more freedom for the king in that case. But instead, we see bishop to h6 first. The king has nowhere to go except the corner of the board. There's very little that black can do here. Knight to f6 check comes. King has to go to h8. And now knight takes f7 comes with checkmate. And it's a beautiful mate for white with 3 minor pieces. The bishop controls g7. This knight controls g8. And this knight here attacks the king. So very nice. All the pieces combining. Great job to William, who put it in as well. So there you go. There's game 1. And now let's take a look at game number 2. Excited to share this game with you. This is a game that I played this past Sunday. We'll go through the opening quickly here. Playing the London system. This was a blitz game. And now notice what happens here. Black attacks my bishop, which is a pretty common idea that I have to deal with in the London system. Even more common, I think, that for it to happen on the king side to the king side bishop. But I could move the bishop back to c2, spend a move doing that and save the bishop pair. But then it would be hitting a brick wall because of black's g6 pawn, which is very well supported. So notice what I do instead. I let black spend even more time trading. He's already moved the knight twice, and now he's going to move it a third time just to trade off my bishop. And now notice that I bring out a new piece to recapture. Now I have 5 pieces developed, while black has only 2. So choosing to develop and let your opponent waste time on trades is a good strategy to get ahead in development. And again, instead of trying to save my bishop with bishop to g5 here, I bring in a piece, another rook comes into the game, he makes another trade. And in this case, in the London system, this is a theme that I've heard, a good one to know. The doubled pawns are not really bad here. This doubled pawn in this case helps to give me a solid grip on d5. There are some exceptions, some cases when doubled pawn is not such a bad thing. Bishop to b7. I'm just noticing, I think black could have taken this pawn here, but he didn't play that. Bishop to b7 comes in. I don't want to let black triple my pawns, which he would have done if he took the knight. That would have not been good. So I play d5. And now he plays c6. I take, and I improve with tempo, hitting the queen. And now I bring in the knight. The knight is nice and active. Thanks, Jeremy. But you've got the instincts, though, the tactical vision, the instincts. I can see that from your puzzle racer scores. So honestly, you'd probably beat me if we played blitz. Tactical vision is so important in blitz. So I play knight to d5 here. And once you've developed quicker than your opponent, the next step is to improve, to get all your pieces to the most optimal squares, not just develop, but to the most perfect squares possible, and then dominate the position. So that's what I'm doing. I've got nightmare knights here, 2 knights in the center. The opponent has to deal with all kinds of threats. Difficult for him to even imagine what these knights can do. queen c2, getting some ideas of maybe getting a piece to c7 someday. My knight gets attacked, so it goes back, and retreating was only momentary. Now I improve the knight again. You don't want to settle for having a bad position or retreating defensive posture. You want to get back on the attack, get back into a great square as quickly as you can. And when you have good pieces, the chance for your opponent to blunder goes up, because good pieces mean that you have more threats that they have to be careful of. And this is what I was talking about. Knight takes e7. I'm going to win the rook and win the exchange. And now b4, a pawn supports my pinned knight, and it's safe for now since black cannot attack it with a pawn. But did I miss something here? Is rook to d7 actually a great move? Tell me in the chat, is this a really great move that I missed? That sounds like me in Hyperbullet, Jeremy. I usually flag my opponent. It's tougher to flag people in Blitz. I'm happy when I get to do it. Yep, good job. Joseph has the right move in there. I'll throw on the engine. Yeah, there's only one solution here. It looks like maybe this works, but the only move here for black is queen takes rook. And the reason being knight takes and rook takes queen. I'm kind of curious about the line that Jeremy and I think Uni were suggesting. If the rook takes, then I can play, rook takes bishop here is the best move, followed by rook takes queen. And then we see this. And the idea is I'm getting a bishop here. So I end up a piece. Plus I've got checkmate threats. So there's the reason that wasn't quite working out. You've got to, sometimes small differences are very important. So yeah, rook to d7 was not a good move. The knight was pinned, so it doesn't really defend this rook. And black could simply take my rook and just win it. So that would not have been a good move. We see a5, I play a3, supporting it, still defending the knight with a pawn. And now I can remove my queen from the defense of the knight here, even though black has two attackers and I'm only defending the knight once. The fact that it's a pawn that defends the knight ensures that black doesn't want to take it because he'd be losing a rook for only a knight and a pawn. So now I have three major pieces on two different open files. That sounds like an invasion is on the way. I get my rook into the game here. Queen d7. If black trades queens, I'm very happy because I'll soon double my rooks on the 7th rank. And then I will paralyze the black pieces. The bishop will be pinned to the king, and the rook will be tied down to defending the bishop, unable to move freely. So that's what would probably happen. Instead, queen to a3. Now I get the rook in. I've got two major pieces on the 7th rank. Do I care about the b4 pawn? No, absolutely not. As I said on Tuesday, attacks against the king are more important than pawns. Black defends the bishop. I want to triple my pieces on the 7th rank, but I have to be careful. Why is that? Why can't I just play rook to d7 immediately on the next move? What do I have to do before I play rook to d7? Put in the chat if you know it. Good job, Uni. Yep, Jeremy, that's right. Yep, Joseph's got it. Yep, back rank mate. Always have to be watchful for that. So after queen takes pawn, I have to make room for my king to escape. And now I invade with crushing pressure, and there's no good way for black to save the bishop. And three major pieces on the 7th rank is far too much to bear. If two rooks on the 7th are considered pigs, three major pieces on the 7th are dragons. So the dragons were too strong. Giving up black's queen for one of them was the best try, according to Stockfish. He pretty much had to. It was too much. So now, notice how paralyzed, even after giving up the queen, I'm still crushing him positionally. Notice how paralyzed black's position is. His bishop can't move. His rook can't move because it has to defend the bishop. And even if he moves his king out of the pin and saves the bishop, then rook to h7 would end up being a checkmate. So it's a beautiful example of paralyzing the opponent. And I'll show you if the king goes this way. If I just do nothing and he tries to save the bishop, then that's checkmate. If he goes the other way and he saves the bishop, no matter which way the king tries to move, it's mate. There's just no getting out of it for black. He can never move this. He can never move this. So it's just a crushing situation. Queen to b7. It's easy to take care of the passed pawn when the opponent's pieces can't move. Pretty funny example here. All he can do is push pawns. G3. King moves. I take this pawn. Black resigned after I took this pawn. Now, does anyone notice anything here? Black resigned right now. Anything funny about this? Oh, T-Rexes. We can all have a vote about the most intimidating name. Good job, William. I think Joseph had the idea as well. Stockfish says that there is one move that makes this game even. Very drawish. Bishop to d4 check, and I'm losing my queen. Wow. Any other move, by the way, allows mate in 1. So Black resigned in spite of having a great move and plenty of time on his clock to find it. He had over a minute to find this move, and even better, very little time on my clock. So he resigned in an equal position. And worse still, he resigned in a complicated, imbalanced equal position when I had less than 17 seconds on my clock and he had over a minute. So he very likely would have won this game on time if he didn't resign and found this move instead. So always remember, everyone, if you must resign, resign too late, not too early. Wait until it's truly hopeless before you resign. Even if you're getting squeezed badly like Black was here, even if it feels like you're getting outplayed, your opponent might still make a huge mistake like I did and give you an opportunity out of nowhere. Chess can be a very surprising game, but if you still have pieces on the board, try to fight. There are a lot of unpredictable, crazy things that can happen. I see Jeremy has his hand up.
I just have to know that on move 31, I'm just really curious about this. On move 31, couldn't Black just play a rook f7?
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's a good find. That's
the refutation.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
the best move. It's pretty much the same though as queen to a3. If we see rook to f7, then I guess I simply take the queen, and I'm still just crushing him nicely. I have an exchange up and up a pawn.
Oh, it's just up material. Okay.
Yeah, just up material. Yeah, that's all. Yep.
I just thought that there'd be like some crazy tactic.
Yeah.
Let's check.
Yeah, crazy game. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Yeah, because I was crushing like the whole game, or I mean the whole like end game, I guess. But then at this moment, I make a huge mistake, and that's the moment that he resigns. So it's just a crazy thing, and that's why you don't want to resign until you're actually sure that the game is hopeless. So hopefully everyone will remember that. Hopefully we all enjoyed that. And now let's move into the tournament for tonight. Here is the link. And share the game with me. If anyone gets a big comeback win, a win when maybe they thought about resigning or they could have resigned, but they didn't, and they kept on fighting and they got a tactic or a stalemate or a checkmate, tell me. I'd love to see those. Blue team outnumbering red team early on, but I think red team is going to make it more even. It was 5 against 1, but I think that's going to change. Wow. A lot, yeah. Jeremy has experienced that a lot. All right, 5 against 4 now. We have 9 people in the tournament. I am expecting 10. So I'll move up the starting time once the last person joins. Wow, Joseph. Yeah, it's disappointing whenever you see after the game that you could have done better. And especially if it's resigning, I think. So it's just a good a good moment. You know, don't beat yourself up about it, but still say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be a lot more reluctant, a lot slower to resign in the future. And then, you know, just don't let it happen again. Well, this is great. We've got 5 against 5, an even battle, which means everyone should be getting a game right off the bat if Lichess is intelligent with the way it makes its pairings, which hopefully it will be. And we will be getting started in about 10 seconds. Good luck to everyone and have fun. Again, the biggest upset wins the prize. It has to be a win. Draws do not count as upsets. And let's see what happens. Definitely bring your A game against those top players tonight. On board number 1, it's Jeremy with the white pieces against Joseph with the black pieces. On board 2, we have Ishan with the white pieces taking on William with the black pieces. On board 3, it's Uni with the white pieces taking on Mikey with the black pieces. On board 4, it is Eli with the white pieces taking on Josias with the black pieces. And on board 5, it's Andrew with the white pieces taking on David with the black pieces. Good luck and have fun. We have a great battle going on here tonight. Blue team is in the lead, 18 points to 12. And I think we have some new games starting right now. Just over 40 minutes left to go in the tournament. Keep it up, everyone. William with a nice victory. What a game. I want to point out the move that I was going crazy about in the chat. This was so crazy how this happened. Take a look at this, everyone, if you don't have a game right now. In the William versus Josias game, queen to d3 is played by white, and then Josias finds this amazing move, bishop to b5. And now look at what's happening. If white takes, then the bishop takes and the rook is trapped. White has to give up the knight. It's a really crazy scenario. And if he moves the queen away, he's getting checkmated because the queen and the bishop were at the same time forming a battery against the rook on f1. So crazy, crazy happenings there in that game. William manages to overcome it, though. He found a good tactic to win one of the bishops and does a nice job to get the win in the end. Blue team leads 22 to 12. We still have a long way to go.